Yo, what's going on, Geminites? It's your boy Gem Mint.
Milton the Manimal.
We're here with the movie review for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
So we're about to go in and see it.
Right.
Haven't seen it yet. This is kind of like our little expectations portion. Mm-hmm. And then we'll be back once we've seen it. So going into it, I'm not really too excited about it.
Me neither. So the talk is, I'm already kind of annoyed by everyone saying it's the best Spider-Man movie to date.
I seen someone in our group, Geminites on Facebook, just say the first 2 minutes are better than any Spider-Man movie ever. Okay. And I'm just like, how?
How? It's still animation.
It's a cartoon. Yeah. Like, I appreciate cartoons.
Don't get me wrong, love them.
Love some cartoons, but I just don't see how this movie's going to be such a badass Spider-Man movie. And it seems to me like it's a bunch of different Spider-Men.
Yeah, so once again, it tackles that topic we've spoken about ad nauseum of multiple Spider-Man, but same characters. So who do we got? We got Noir Spider-Man, Spider-Gwen, Miles Morales, Spider-Ham.
Peter Parker.
Yeah,
so with Spider-Ham, I'm already like, how can it really be good?
Yeah, just seeing Spider-Ham in there makes me feel like, ugh.
Like, you know, I guess it just seems like, how are you going to have like a really serious movie that you're invested into the characters when it's a bunch of different main characters?
Right.
And I don't really like ultra goofy Spider-Man.
I don't either.
I like serious Spider-Man that can't pay the bills. Mary Jane's fed up. She's leaving him. Mm-hmm. He's going through problems. And I just feel like this is going to be a big, zany, goofy fest. I hope I'm wrong.
I'm feeling a Deadpool vibe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Snarky, smart alecky, teenagers.
Millennials.
Bunch of millennials. So
I am interested, though. So in terms of animation type comic book movies, we've seen DC has kind of been the people who have nailed that. That's the one thing they have nailed. We haven't really seen a lot of Marvel animation movies.
So this is a Sony-produced Marvel movie.
Right.
But it's in the theaters. Those DC animated movies, which are great, they're kind of like throwaway, straight to VHS type of movies.
Yes, they don't go to the theaters, but they are awesome. Some of them are really, really good.
Yeah, I've seen a handful of them. So this one's in the theaters, which I think is interesting. This, I guess it's like, is it a cell shaded kind of style? It's like a different kind of animation style.
Yeah, I don't know enough to even give it a name. You said that, and I had no idea what you were talking about.
So we're both going into this with low expectations.
Not low. I'm basically like, I feel like I'm going to go in here, and I'm probably going to exit there.
You guys just stay monotone.
I just think, I think I'm going to like it, but I'm not going to.
It's going to be like,
yeah.
But
it is what it is. Is probably what I'm going to feel like.
We'll see. Man, hopefully we come back with a different.
It's not the best Spider-Man movie ever.
Whoa! It's not going to happen.
No, probably not.
Thumbs down and sue now. No, but we're about to go see it. We will come back and do a non-spoiler review and then stick around for the end. If there's any kind of spoilery things, we'll talk about it in the end there, right?
For sure.
All right, y'all. All right, we are back. Just got done watching Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
I think got to eat our words a little bit.
Yeah, which I'm okay with.
It was a good movie, man.
It was good. I liked it.
It was definitely a good movie. What do you want to talk about? So let's talk about the visuals.
Okay.
They have like this new, unique style of animation that I don't think we've ever really seen in another animated movie.
I definitely have never seen it before.
Never seen it. You were not a fan of it.
No, I think that's going to be one of the topics on my list of things I did not like.
So it's got like. So, you know, like, okay, arcade machines back in the day have scan lines where it's like horizontal lines.
Yeah.
This had like honeycomb scan lines throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, it looked, I kept describing it as being like very pixelated to me.
And what would happen was whatever you were focused on was clear and anything else was blurred purposely.
And you said it in the movie theater too, like, oh, well, you said it during one of the trailers.
Shaking.
About the, do we need 3D glasses? And that's what it looked like. It looked like when you have your 3D glasses on.
Yeah.
And you take them off and you look at the screen. That's what it looked like on the stuff around.
And this was not in 3D.
Yeah, on the stuff like you weren't focused on. I didn't like it.
So it didn't bother me, and I think the colors, it was like visually impressive. The colors were very bright, vivid. Miles does like a graffiti thing, and I think the visuals look very graffiti to me, like neon pinks and purples and greens.
Yeah, the final scene, the colors were crazy.
It's like an acid trip.
It was like an acid trip.
And this shit was funny, man.
It was funny. So I'll eat my words, and I'm thankfully too on the it not being like too millennial or like Deadpoolish.
So
it was clever, made fun of itself.
Leading into that, there was like 10 freaking previews before this movie.
Oh.
And every single one of them, it was like kid related.
Yeah, because it was a cartoon.
Yeah, but this movie didn't come off as kiddie. Like,
It wasn't too
we
bad.
enjoyed it. There was Easter eggs for comic fans. We'll talk about the Easter. We'll do that in the spoiler section. You know, there was nods to the comics, and it was very like for any comic book reader. So the age range varied to me. It was for everybody who reads comics.
And you definitely don't need to know much about Spider-Man to watch the movie either.
Not at all. Even though it has multiple Spider-Man in the movie.
Right.
So, do we run down the Spider-Man characters?
Yeah, I mean they're all in the previews.
So I didn't really watch the preview. I think only the one that we were forced to watch on the Venom end credit scene, which wasn't really a preview.
Oh, when did I see them all then? I mean, I'd seen the Spider because that scene wasn't that in the scene where he's
upside down
in the room hiding from his
roommate? I seen that, but I feel like I have never seen a full preview. So I didn't know the movie was centered around Miles Morales.
See, I think it's crazy that you didn't know that. That was like the main thing.
That being said, I think that they made him extremely likable. It was funny. There was some slow moments I think we'll talk about in the spoiler section too regarding Miles.
Okay.
So you have Miles. Then we have...
Well, so basically it takes place in the Ultimate Universe.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
We have Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate Peter Parker.
Right.
And we're going to save something here for the spoiler section as well. But it plays out very similar, almost exactly like Miles' origin story and him becoming Spider-Man.
Yeah, you get like, the ultimate version of Green Goblin.
Dr. Octopus.
Was she in the Ultimate Universe?
I don't remember, but I've seen a female Dr. Octopus before.
Yeah.
You know what's funny too? The way that she looks, like the hippie kind of white lady with dreads.
Yeah.
Like I feel like some of my wife follows on Instagram or something. Anyway, you have that, and then we start getting introduced to the 616 Spider-Man, who he's older and divorced, and he gained a little bit of weight, and that was funny. We get Spider-Gwen. We get Gwen Stacy,
who goes by Spider-Woman though now.
So she always went by Spider-Woman.
Yeah.
Well, at least originally.
Right, but the title of her stuff was always Spider-Gwen for the longest time. Now it's Ghost Spider, I think.
So it used to be, it was definitely Spider-Woman first, and then it became Spider-Gwen.
Yeah.
And
you get Spider-Man Noir, who might have been my favorite character.
Which I would have thought would have been my least favorite and the most boring, but he was probably the funniest.
Mainly because of the voice actor, right? Nicolas Cage came out.
And he would just say these brooding things, but it's funny. But he'd say, I light a match and let it burn to my fingertips just to feel something.
I like Spider-Man Noir might have been my favorite.
Yeah, he was funny. Then you had the manga Spider-Man robot.
Ugh.
I thought it was funny.
Black.
He didn't like it. I thought it was cute. But what I think the point of that, then you had Spider-Ham, who's a cartoon, and then you had...
Which actually, I was really surprised. I thought Spider-Ham was going to be the one I hated the most.
Me too. And Spider-Ham is voiced by John Mulaney. Huge fan of him, and I think that he was funny as hell.
I gotta talk... I can't remember the ones when they were talking about their powers. Kind of, he goes... Can you smell something and float through the air? Like that shit actually cracked me up.
Because he was like really, what's the pig's name? That's all, folks?
Porky Pig?
He was really Porky Pig,
Yeah.
like the cartoon mannerism. But I think the point of all these different Spider-Man, they were all drawn in a different artistic style.
Yeah, they did match what the mode of their character.
So the
was
manga
whatever,
Spider-Man looked anime. She would jump in the air and all this background would change.
She'd have the big white eyes, you know.
and then like I said, Spider-Ham looked like a real cartoon, pulling out mallets out of his pocket.
Yeah.
So that was funny, and it sounds really goofy, but only in those parts.
It really wasn't that goofy.
It really
though.
wasn't.
For some reason, it worked.
So
It was
first
kind
of
of
all,
surprising.
so the Miles story got very serious with his father, right, and then his uncle, which if you know from the comics is Prowler, and I think that I really liked the uncle character a lot.
Yeah.
He was really cool. And, yeah, man, so it was an overall good story. I didn't know who the big bad was going to be. Is that a surprise?
No, I saw in the previews that it was Kingpin.
Your boy Wilson
Yeah.
Fisk.
Yeah.
I didn't like how they portrayed him, though.
No neck. No neck.
First of all,
ass
his
having.
back was up here.
He would look like a rhombus.
No neck having that. I didn't like. I'm like, man, they did my dog dirty. But
there's a final scene. This isn't a spoiler.
Yeah.
But he's in like a subway car at that, and all I could think was, how's his
door.
ass get in the door?
You see the door. He even runs up to the door. It's like this.
It's just like all you can see is the white of his suit. That's it. Like
right?
how them shoulders getting through.
So yeah, that wasn't happening. Damn, what was I gonna say? So
big bad. You're talking about
yeah.
that.
So he was the big bad.
So
So,
we
he did show that he was powerful as hell though.
Yeah. We also had Tombstone. We had a Scorpion.
Ultimate version Scorpion.
Yeah, one of the villains. We kind of talked about the female Doc Ock. Mm-hmm. Do we have any other like classic characters?
Aunt May.
Aunt May, Mary Jane.
I liked Aunt May a lot.
She was funny.
She was funny. I liked her a lot. So we'll talk a lot about... That's a lot of spoiler section stuff, man.
Yeah, it's just characters.
Yeah, but I mean, like, as far as their role or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Mary Jane. I mean, we get a little bit of her. I guess that's about it for as far as the general gist of it. But it's a Miles origin story that ties into a Spider-Verse, which we've seen in the comics a couple of times. Edge of the Spider-Verse, Spider-Verse and all that. So I think we went in with low expectations and it over-delivered.
Yeah, I think...
Even for you to like it, I'm kind of proud of it.
I have to say, though, that part of the reason why I wasn't sure I was going to like it was because I still don't agree with all the people who are saying, best Spider-Man movie ever. Like,
okay.
That was ridiculous.
I'll give it this. It's the best Spider-Man animated movie ever.
Okay. You won Into the Spider-Verse.
But it's really hard to compare. I do think
then people shouldn't be making that claim.
I think it's better than some Spider-Man movies, but I don't think it's better than Spider-Man 2. I don't think it's better than Spider-Man 1.
I don't think it's better than any live-action Spider-Man movie.
So Amazing Spider-Man 1 is better than this.
Yeah, I don't rank animated movies on the same as I would do a live-action.
It is hard to compare. But I don't think it was the best one, but it was funny as hell. The music, it was very hip-hop type of vibe, you know, which I fucks with. I did feel like when I was in the theater, I was like, are they going to turn the volume up?
No, for sure. I'm glad you brought that up too, because you said it, and then I wanted to speak on it too. And maybe it was just our theater. Hopefully, you guys don't have this problem. Theater. But there were some parts where Peter Parker would talk, and I couldn't understand what he was saying.
Come again?
Yeah.
Yeah, immediately when they were talking, I'm like, is it muffled because he's got the mask on? I'm like, yo, turn the volume. Where's the treble
and you could tell they were like funny comments he was making, and like I missed them.
I loved middle-aged Peter Parker. He was funny as hell, man. All right, so do we rank this movie, man? It's very hard to do these rankings.
Yeah, I mean, I'll rank it, I guess.
All right, what do you think out of a 10?
I'm probably gonna go with an 8.
I was thinking 7.
Yeah,
I want to go with a 7. So why? I don't know. I mean,
I think I'll go with an 8 because it's right out the gate what I would assume or consider being the only Marvel animated movie, and I thought it crushed it. I think it will be hard to
definitely the only theatrical release.
Right. I think it'll be hard to top in terms of Marvel animated. Probably gonna get butchered.
I mean, think about this. So I was mad Sony got another win. Yeah. Those bastards. Now they're gonna be in the boardroom on Monday like, we don't really need the MCU.
Yeah. Or live action Venom. Yeah. Let's just stick to animation.
So, but the thing is, they told a Miles Morales story in theaters. Now, they kind of were slick about it with the animated version, but I think it played to their strengths because they didn't have to cast anybody. You know, it's a big deal. You miscast.
I think it's great because, honestly, I don't want to see Miles Morales live action. So
they're not going to do it after this.
And if they're going to do it this way, cool, man. More power to them. So
I'm going to give it a 7 just because I don't feel like it's an 8. I don't know. That's why. That's how I'm feeling. So, stick around. We're going to talk spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie yet, you could dip out now, or if you like to live life dangerously and on the edge, you could stay tuned.
And if you want to know what Easter eggs to look for while you're watching,
we're gonna talk some Easter eggs, some good ones. All right, we're gonna. Spoilers. So, what do you want to start with?
Let's start with Easter eggs. Let's just do Easter eggs.
So the first one that I noticed. And you said it out loud as well, but I caught it too. Yeah. So they're scrolling through a phone, looking at contacts, and right above like Dad was Bendis.
B. Bendis. So
I thought that was cool. And so, you said later, I didn't see the next one.
So Dad was scrolling through his phone, and it said Ditko.
Oh, we didn't even talk about the one.
There's another one. I don't think we should talk about that except in this.
You know what's going on. Right?
There's another one when he went by a restaurant. It said Ramita's Ramen.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
So a lot of Easter eggs in there.
Shit, there probably was more that we missed.
Yeah, because you caught Danny Glover in the
Donald Glover, Danny Glover's Lethal Weapon.
Donald Glover.
So when he goes into his uncle's apartment, on the TV and like kind of the background, it looks like there's like a music video or whatever, and it's Donald Glover in like a Spider-Man t-shirt.
Okay, so right in the beginning of the movie, Spider-Man's introducing himself, what he's done over the years, right? And it kind of shows him in the cartoon version doing other scenes from the Ramney movies and all that.
The holding back the
train.
Subway.
And then he's like, I even did this. And it's the whole emo Spider-Man walking and doing all this stuff. That shit was funny.
That was pretty funny.
Stan Lee cameo.
It was rough, man. That was a tough one.
The whole audience was like, damn. It was a good one, too.
It was a good one. I mean, and not to take away, would it have been as powerful if he wasn't dead? Probably not. But it was really powerful.
If he hadn't been passed away, everybody would have been like, okay, another Stan cameo. But this is like the first one since he's passed.
Yeah.
And they Sony got that too.
Damn those bastards.
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 Damn, but it was like touching, and the shit he was saying was kind of like his farewell kind of. It was kind of serious.
Yeah, it was pretty serious.
Damn, so that was crazy.
So what's some other Easter eggs? Did we pick up any other
So
ones?
they recreated the death of Ultimate Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Kingpin smashes him, kills him. That was crazy.
Yeah.
And the funeral with
the blonde Peter Parker, which I've
I
never
like
seen
him.
it, and I was like, what?
Is this Ben Reilly? What are we doing? So the funeral with Mary Jane talking about her husband, like that was pretty serious too. I was like, damn, they really went there.
It was pretty touching, yeah. I'm trying to think of any more spoilers. Well, okay, so Alchemax.
Yeah, they had Alchemax in there.
Which is, or Easter egg, not spoiler.
Yeah.
What else?
So when they, this deals with different dimensions, right?
Yeah.
So when Kingpin first turns on the Collider machine, it shows like bloop, 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 these blips, and they are all bringing them together. And the numbers in the blips were 616, all the different Marvel universes.
Yeah, I'm assuming relating to the characters that end up in the movie.
Brought them in, right, exactly.
So, really, the gist of the movie is Kingpin's wife and son have died, and he's trying to find an alternate version to come in.
I thought it was pretty lame how they died.
Now,
so they walk,
car wreck, right?
They walk in on him beating up Spider-Man. It's like they walked in on him jerking off, and they're like, "Oh my god!" Frantically run out.
That would have been worse, actually. Probably.
They frantically run out, driving in the rain, swerving, and get hit by a truck. Like, really? You freaked out because your husband, who's fucking huge,
who's the kingpin of crime?
Oh my god!
I never knew this about you.
Is this why we have such lavish things?
Yeah.
Anyway, but he wants to bring them back, and it's kind of one of those things where, like, you can't bring them back.
Yeah, and he's doing anything he can. He doesn't care about the consequences. He doesn't care that it potentially could destroy the multiverse, the space-time continuum.
And we learned that everyone that's brought in from a different dimension, their atoms glitch out. So every now and then, you know, Spider-Man from 616 will be swinging, it'll glitch out and, like, fall or whatever.
Yeah.
His story was kind of sad too, man. Like, he had to bury Aunt May. He got divorced with Mary Jane.
Right, his life just kind of fell apart a little bit.
He was like the older Spider-Man. He got.
You could also tell he was like tired too of it. He's like, yeah, and then it just kind of kept going at some point when he was saying, and yeah.
So it's pretty cool when they go to Aunt May's house, and we learned that the Ultimate Spider-Man had like a spider cave with all his costumes. They even had the PS4 video game costume in there.
The spider buggy.
Did they have that? I didn't see that.
Yeah, when they went down, they had like the spider buggy, and then they had a bunch of costumes I didn't even recognize, ever seen before. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I saw the Big Time costume.
Yeah.
I saw the Iron Spider costume. Right. And Aunt May was kind of like an Alfred. Like, she knew what he was doing down there.
Yeah.
She was cool though. So what else, man?
So then you had, we talked about it in the non-spoiler section, the Prowler stuff with the uncle, which is a big thing about his backstory.
His relationship with Miles was, I like how they portrayed it. Then Miles finds out he's Prowler, and then he almost kills him, and he hesitates killing Miles, and Kingpin kills him. Right. So that was another touching shit. So even though it was funny and had zany parts, it had a lot of touching parts.
Well, and as well as with the dynamic between his family. Like, his dad's a cop who doesn't associate with his own brother because of criminal activity, more or less, and like he doesn't agree with his life choices. But Miles is closer with the uncle, it feels like, than the dad.
He relates to him more, and his dad's kind of a hard ass, and he doesn't have a really good relationship with his son. The mom is kind of like whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't really like the mom. Yeah.
So let's talk about, in terms of spoiler-wise, was there anything to talk about the different Spider-Men? Like the other Noir, the Ham. They were funny. They were cool.
They were kind of more jokey. They came in after, right?
Spider-Gwen and Peter Parker were the big ones.
Yeah, and Spider-Gwen was there before we knew about all this stuff. Right. And she happened to, like, get hit by the Collider and got transported a week before everybody else. And she kind of infiltrated the school. Because then I put it together. I was like, oh, shit, she was new at the school.
Yeah.
So that was cool. So you did feel like Miles getting his powers was kind of took a long time.
So that was another gripe of mine, I guess, would be it was slow on his powers. And then we still didn't... I feel like we only got one scene with the Venom sting.
Well, he did it to Peter when he first saw him.
Yeah.
Then he did it to Kingpin.
Yeah.
He did it to the Webs to get out of the web chair.
Yeah.
So he Yeah, he at the end learns how to control his powers, and that scene is a very awesome scene.
It was cool, man.
When he breaks out of the webs, when he first jumps off the building, and he has the costume that he basically just spray painted because he's a graffiti artist,
Right.
and then he jumps off the building and it shows the upside down. That was cool, man.
Yeah,
So,
and May created web slingers.
Yeah,
she was gangster.
She was cold, man. She was cold. I liked Aunt May. She was very, very cool. And want to talk about. So obviously, at the end of the day, Miles Morales steps up. He sends everybody to their right dimension.
But then he dies.
Psych. Well, I mean, I would assume if they're watching this, they already seen the movie. But we get an end credit scene.
Yeah. Well, it's before that.
Okay.
So they had a really nice send off to Stan and Ditko.
Steve Ditko. That was respect.
That was cool.
Yeah. And we get the end credit scene, so we get like this hologram person. First of all, we know it's Spider-Man 2099 because it says Nueva York, which is New York in the year 2099. And his hologram girl, I forget her name, is talking to him, and basically she puts this thing on his wrist and allows him to jump into the dimensions. I'm assuming
without glitching.
Yeah. And we see Spider-Man 2099, and they're like, "Well, where do you want to go?" So he says, "Let's go to the beginning." 1967, and then he gets transported into the Spider-Man
Earth 67
into the Spider-Man 1967 cartoon. And you know that meme where it's the two Spider-Mans pointing at each other? It's him looking like that old ass cartoon, and it's a whole big thing pointing at each other.
And that was actually, that scene is the only time, surprisingly, we got any kind of J. Jonah Jameson.
And we had the 1967 version.
Who looks like Hitler with a fucking like an old with a hat Hitler. And a trench coat. Yeah. So that was funny scene.
Yeah. They kind of dragged it on a little too long, but it was still funny as hell, man.
Okay, so one other thing we should talk about. The voices. We kind of talked about it. I thought the voice acting was dope.
So the only one I didn't like is when Peter Parker from the Ultimate Universe in the beginning started talking. I even said, I was like, what? Like, it didn't sound like Spider-Man or Peter Parker at all to me.
I loved that actor, I can't remember his name, Jake Johnson maybe or something, but I love that actor. I think he's hilarious in everything he does.
Yeah, the voices were good. Miles Morales was good.
They cast him really well, yeah.
I don't know who played the voice of the Prowler. He sounded familiar, but I like that voice actor was good.
Nick Cage came out the gate swinging. That was awesome.
Yeah, so it's definitely a good movie. I can see the hype is real. I don't know that it's I know it's not the best Spider-Man movie ever, but it definitely was a good-ass movie.
It's cool. It's good to take your kids to.
Best Marvel animated movie.
Is it the only Marvel?
Well, they have like Wolverine vs. Hulk. They have a bunch of Netflix ones.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's the only theatrical one, though, right? Yeah.
For sure.
And it's Sony. Don't say Marvel.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Marvel in association with. All right, so that's everything, right? We'll wrap this thing up. Yeah. Catch us next time when we do the Aquaman review. Are we going to try to knock that out next week?
Yep.
Let us know what you thought about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse in the comments below. Hit the like on the way out. Or not.
Subscribe if you aren't.
Hit that subscribe. We drop daily content, including movie reviews like this, but other stuff as well. Comics, statues, live joints, all that.
Yep.
All right, y'all. Stay minty. Peace.